Good morning, guys. So, as you get ready to start hitting the dialer, remember that the opening is going to be your most challenging obstacle. So, the quicker you get through the opening, the better. And you can only get through the opening through practice. Now, you can call me, call Jackie, and we can role play the opening. It will take us about 3 to 4 minutes on the phone. But just keep it simple, practice it, and remember to put the focus on them because you're calling out to get information to see if we can possibly do business together. So remember, use the first name and keep it simple. If his name is Alan Smith, say, "Hello, is this Alan?" Yes. Who's this? How can I help you? What do you want? Hey, Alan, I know this call is out of the blue, but let me ask you, would you consider an offer on that property at this time? And then just be quiet. Let them respond. No, you know what? No, no. If you sense hesitancy like this, if somebody tells you, we've been, no, you know what? No, no. Take me off your list. So you can tell if there's hesitancy on their end. Say, hey, it sounds like you're thinking about selling. You want me to call you back at another time? I might have caught you at the wrong time. Yeah, call me back, whatever. And then do call them back, but put it in there as a contact that you made contact. Um, and maybe maybe they're at work. I don't know. It's gonna take several touches. Don't think that you're gonna be able to close. Now you might, but on average, it's gonna take 3 to 4 touches before you start really building rapport with someone. I mean, think of it. Somebody calls you out of the blue and they want to sell you something or they want to help you with whatever offer or product they're using. Well, you don't even know if they're serious, so why are you going to divulge all this information, right? So after a few touches, hey, if you know what, they were respectful of your time, and you call back the next day. Hey, Alan, remember me? We talked yesterday, and is this a better time? See how that's more credible? Then you're no longer out of the blue. Now we talked yesterday. Do you remember? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. So how can I help you? And so on, right? So now they're more likely to at least give you information, at least have the courtesy to give you the time of day because it's a follow up. Now it's a warmer lead versus a straight cold lead. So keep that in mind. And when people very abruptly say no, it doesn't matter what you say. People who don't want to sell don't want to sell, and that's okay. But people who are hesitant, and you can sense that in their tonality, let's be respectful of their time. Maybe it was the wrong time. I mean, again, this is not a follow-up call. This is strictly a cold call, and that's why I like to say, "Hey, I know this call is out of the blue, so I'm being conscious that I'm calling you out of the blue, right? And I just want to know if you would consider an offer on your property at this time." That's softer than saying, "Would you like to sell?" Right? Because an offer is not a commitment. An offer, yeah, I'll entertain an offer, right? Versus, "Hey, Alan, would you like to sell this time?" No, I don't want to sell. So it's a softer approach to getting the door. Now, they may not want to sell either way, even after they want to consider an offer, but we're more likely to get in the door with people if we use the word offer, not sell. We don't want to turn people off by using the strong words as sell. Again, this is the initial approach. We just want to get in the door. So, would you consider an offer on your property at this time? Maybe. You might get a lot of maybes. Excellent. And then you get into it, right? A good transition after that is excellent. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions to see if we can do business together. This process is only going to take about 5 to 7 minutes. Do you have 5 to 7 minutes to spare? Most people are going to say yes. Okay, great. And now you're doing this for two reasons. One is to be respectful for their time, and you're gaining credibility by staying within your 5 to 7 minute range. right? So they automatically think, man, I like this guy. He is actually keeping his word. He is doing what he said he would do. 7 minutes are up and he's done. I like this guy. He's keeping his word, right? Number two, you don't want to spend a lot of time with these people unless there's something there. And if there is something there, you can always extend that time. But this is your first verbal agreement. This whole business is based on verbal agreements. This is our first one, right? So do you have about 5 to 7 minutes to spare? Yes, I do. First verbal agreement, right? Okay. And you get into the questions, get into condition. So when was the last time the kitchen was remodeled, the roof was replaced, blah, blah, blah. And that's where we need to practice the sales process, because now you're in the sales process arena. You should have this down by now, how to navigate your way into the sales process. From here, you start discarding, right? Sounds like a beautiful house, Alan. Why would you consider selling it? Remember, earlier we said an offer, but now we're in. Now we can talk about selling. And now he's either going to tell us, well, I don't want to sell, and we're done, right? But we got in the door. We got an opportunity to speak to this guy. Or now that we know, so that's why we discard this way, because he's either going to tell us again, well, I'm not selling. You just wanted to see if I would entertain an offer. Yes, I would. And we're done, right? 2 minutes into it, we're done. But what if he says, well, I got this going, I got that going, and that's why I might consider selling. Okay, excellent. Thank you for sharing that with me, Alan. Again, and you go on to the next step, right? Which is timeline. If we were to do business together, what's your timeline here? Are you looking to get this done in the next week, or can you wait about 3 or 4 months? Second discard. Yeah, I can wait about 3 or 4 months. Boom. List it with the realtor then. Why are you talking to me? I'm a cash buyer. And then you go into the money part and so on. Again, you need to own the sales process in order to navigate this very smoothly. But and that's easy to memorize. The canned responses that I send you, those are easy to memorize. To me, hopefully it's not the case for you guys, but to me, the hardest thing was opening, because you're talking to a stranger. So that's why I like to use the word out of the blue, because hey, we're both on the same, we don't know each other. I know it's called out of the blue. I get it. But would you consider an offer on your property at this time? And notice I put my hand like this, because that's the attitude you want to convey to these people. Kind of like, hey, I'm just wondering, would you consider an offer on your property at this time? No, not at this time. Okay, no problem, Alan. You have a good rest of your day. Done, right? But if they would, yes, maybe, I don't know. What are you offering? That would be another one. And you guys know how to combat that one. Yeah, what are you offering? Okay, Alan. But pay attention. So this is basic, right? This is basic. Once you own this, then we're going to start talking about tonality, sarcasm, pitch, volume. There's a lot of things you can pick up with people's voices. But before we get into that, you need to have the opening down so you can start talking to people, get them to open up to you, go through the sales process, start discarding, and just get comfortable on the phone. The more calls you do, the more comfortable you'll be. I'm gonna get on the phone myself, because I want to sample what a good call looks like. And there's no such thing as a good call, but let me rephrase that. A call where I can exemplify going through the sales process, so you see how smooth it is. And they don't know what you're doing, guys. We are armed with the sales process, with the canned responses. We're practicing, we're role playing. We got our openings that we're practicing before we touch the phone. These guys are just people, right? And they don't have canned responses. They don't have a script. They don't have sales process. So they don't know what we're doing. So that's why we want to be very conversational. We don't want to be threatening to them and think that we're this big professional person, that we know what they're going to say before they even say it, and we know how to combat. No. We're just having a conversation. Alan, what's going on? Oh, really? Wow. Okay. So you're moving soon. Okay. Where are you going? Phoenix. My mom is from Phoenix. Yeah. She lives over on 75th and Indian School. Oh, awesome. And so, but my mom does really live in Phoenix, so I can bring that up. If he says New Hampshire, I've never been to New Hampshire. I'm sure it's a nice place. And that's it, right? Because I've never been to New Hampshire, but I'm sure it's a nice place. See how you're coming from legitimacy? It's true what you're saying. So This is how you connect with people. Just be true. Just be legit. Hey, Alan, I'm just having a conversation here. I want to see if you have any interest in selling that property. And if you consider an offer, we would love to speak to you further. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Boom, 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 boom. Now, where the 7 minutes are up, now let's say, so you go through the sales process and you're discarding the whole way and they're answering correctly. So we may have something, right? Now, keep an eye on the timer. So let's say let's say you're at minute 6. Hey, Alan, our time is up. We're at 6 minutes. Would you like to continue the conversation or should we stop here? That's another good takeaway, because anybody that tells you that is going to put you on the spot, right? So if you're a serious seller, if you're not a serious seller, here's your opportunity to back out and stop wasting time, right? Our time is up. Would you like to continue the conversation? No, I think we're fine. Okay, done, right? So he was BSing you the whole time, right? Because if you have engaged in conversation and somebody's really interested in possibly selling you the house, more than likely they're going to say, sure, we can continue. Excellent. So we were talking about this, that, and the other, but see, now you have permission and now you've gained credibility. You've gained points because you kept your word. And now he's going to believe you on what you're going to say next. And next will be scheduling the inspection, right? So that's the goal from these conversations, is to schedule an inspection to inspect the house, to see what we can offer, right? It's going to be very unrealistic to be able to make an offer on anything, much less something so big as a house, without taking a look at it, right? So let's schedule an inspection, Alan. One of my colleagues will go out there and take a look at the roof, the foundation, the layout, all the big ticket items, to see what we can offer you, Alan. Would that be okay? Would it be okay if we do that? This is another welcoming word. We're going to go into this later, guys. There's a lot of keywords. Would it be okay? It's another non-threatening, welcoming word. There's a lot of these welcoming words that put people at ease. What sounds better? Hey, Alan, would it be okay if we do this? Or, Alan, let's do this. Or, Alan, assuming it already. Hey, Alan, 3 or 4. See how that's too direct? But would it be okay, Alan, if we do that? It's courteous, it's professional. That's what we want to come across.